it drop quiet on the set? Because my algorithm was messed up for a couple of days, and now my algorithm is full of this particular topic content now. And I mean, it's coming in abundance and motion. I hope that's how we're not navigating. I better not be seeing a transition into some stuff. Have they made the final decision on whether or not they're going to ban TikTok? Because if they're trying to fold TikTok into the corner, we may watch TikTok's algorithm alter a little bit. You know how it is when you get bought out by another company and they start creating these new implementations. Now, sometimes new implementations could be a great thing, right? Uh, they can be, but more or less, when we're working with someone who never really works in favor of other people but themselves, we can anticipate some fucking bullshit. Couple of things though, I just seen a couple of interviews about the whole Drake and Josh thing. Don't know where Josh went. To be exact, there's a couple of levels to this shit. It's levels, right? So when you're the sexually exploited or victimized in some way, shape, or form, you become victim, victimizer, and the way you can become a victimizer, how that looks, it varies in plenty of different ways. There's a lot of things that interrupts you and your mental mind, as well as your development when you're exposed to sexually explicit things early. And some of us either continue to perpetuate the cycle of that abuse in its many forms, in whichever way that looks, or we fight to kind of like reduce those effects and heal those effects in ourselves, right? And it takes for you to acknowledge where where and how those things have affected you. Now, for some of us and people who go through these types of situations, the abuse is normalized, right? Because it becomes a way of living. You get all types of accolades, and you're acclimated for concealing this abuse, right? There are people who become comfortable in that, they conform in that, they become complacent in that, and they don't take any action in bringing awareness for those who do. So a lot of our favorites, sadly, they prevail a lot in this world because they help conceal abuse, and that makes them complacent. For others of us, it is tricky, right? Because if we can't acknowledge it or recognize it as abuse or see it as abuse, it's hard for us to acknowledge it as abuse, right? But today, with all of the context and the verbiage that is going on, you would hope that people are able to dissect and understand these things with that. But we are still dissecting. We're still dissecting, we're still understanding. I talk to a victim often that does not know that they're a victim, and they could be and are convinced that the acts that they indulged in were love. And for some, they won't. They fail to acknowledge it because that would have to alter. It would alter the whole trajectory of their life and their perception and how they think. So your favorite aunt or uncle, you having to realize that they were actually abusing you would definitely take away from all of the good things that they did for you, right? And that would make you a victim. That would make you a victim, and that would make that person a predator. And that just alters things for a person. A lot of us resist that. But I am happy with the level of transparency that we've all been able to show throughout these times, because it's levels on how to heal, mend, and address all of these sexually explicit matters, right, one by one, and show grace and hold space for folks, right? But Dan Snyder and Debo, no, they paid that man to do a job. Did y'all not see Dan with his what is that, passive apology? Let's get straight into it. The fact of the matter is, I was wrong. That man is a sociopath. Something's wrong with him in his brain. He's gotten away with it so many years. He feels like he's mastered the art of manipulating people into thinking that he's changed. And then they get T-Bone, a friendly, familiar face that we think is one to count on, or one that is reliable, to do the interview. So we could just be like, oh, okay, well, if T-Bone, they really tried to sedate the black people with T-Bone. You can't make me think anything else. But watch out for people like that. People like that make it hard for us to hold space and allow people with those type of problems to change, right? Because it could happen. But that manipulation, you got to keep your eye open for it.